The Young Thug case is moving fast, with lots of information being released every single day. This Young Thug interview snippet from jail was released following his latest hearing. Here's Young Thug's reaction from the courtroom. Now this was Young Thug's reaction to when the judge in his case said the following to him in court.
He's the one directing traffic. He is the one they're all afraid of. He's the one that's king slime. He is the most dangerous of the 28, Judge. And I implore you not to grant him a bond. He is dangerous. If he gets a burner, Judge, and the court may know this, a lot of the communications that Mr. Williams is on FaceTime, because it's not traceable, it's not trackable. Judge, I will also say that we have taken proffers from fellow from Mr. Williams. Some are on this indictment, some are not. They have stated uniformly that Mr. Williams is dangerous. They are afraid of him, that if they cross him, he will them and their family. And they were very clear about that.
Concerns that this court has is danger to persons and to intimidate other witnesses and obstruct the administration of justice. So and for those reasons in the aggregate, I'm going to deny bond at this time.
It was also at this court hearing where the prosecutors revealed that members of YSL that were arrested are now snitching on Young Thug and Gunna. A few of the 28 members of YSL that were originally arrested during the mansion raid are creating deals with law enforcement, what's called a proffer, giving them information about YSL and Gunna in exchange for a lesser prison sentence for themselves. Also during this hearing, the judge revealed what the prison sentence length is for a RICO case. It was also announced that Young Thug and his YSL associates are responsible for over 50 passings of rival street members with active instances of firearm use in the public. The prison sentence for crimes that Young Thug is being accused for is life in prison with zero chance of parole, as the Fulton County District Attorney Fani Willis spoke with the local Atlanta news station, adding the indictment reportedly includes allegations of 3 passings and dozens more. One passing has been identified as Donovan Thomas. Young Thug is accused of renting the 2014 Infiniti Q50 sedan from Hertz that was used in the Thomas passing. They add, Thomas's passing is extremely significant. Willis said it occurred back in 2015, and what myself and any law enforcement member can tell you, as a result of the back and forth firearm use, many passings have occurred. There has probably been about 50 since 2015. This is from the back and forth between YSL and other street team, with Young Thug being the one who rented the 2014 Infiniti Q50 sedan from Hertz. If he was found inside of the car, he will then have a direct connection to the passing, which will also result in life in prison. Now there's 3 main reasons why Young Thug will never be released on bond. You need to hear this. First reason is how Young Thug runs his operation. During the hearing, it was revealed by YSL members that snitched on Young Thug that Thug is the leader of the organization. Young Thug would often purchase used iPhones in bulk and use them as burner phones. He would only have one app on each phone, that app being FaceTime. He would use these phones to FaceTime his troops to handle business on the streets. Whether it was narcotic related, firearm related, or even going after rival street members, he was only doing business on FaceTime, as FaceTime is impossible for law enforcement and cell phone providers to tap the phones and listen in on phone calls. FaceTime is often used by street members as there's zero trace of what is said in the calls anywhere. Now, members that snitched also mentioned how Young Thug is very dangerous. If you cross him, he will get you and your family. Young Thug is not one to mess with, and if you are even thinking of crossing him, you better be ready to leave the state. Now, the next reason the prosecutors say Young Thug will never receive bond is during the YSL mansion raid where Young Thug lives, there was GTA-type firearms found within the home. There was firearms that law enforcement found that they don't even know how he would have gotten them. Now, here's actually footage from the raid happening. Now, law enforcement used this to their advantage against Young Thug in his bond hearing, telling the judge he cannot allow Young Thug, the leader of YSL, to be near firearms or social media, and don't even get the prosecutor started on his iPhone burners. He would end up using all forms of social media to direct the rest of the YSL members to commit acts. Now, this is the last reason being that even with Young Thug behind bars, he's still organizing crimes and having crimes started. An example of this is when the prosecution in the Young Thug Rico case announced they have proffers from members of YSL that name Young Thug as the head of the organization. This is where we saw No Jumper report this. A YSL member was caught on an illegal cell phone trying to get someone on the outside to destroy evidence in the Young Thug Rico case. Now, the county jail inmate using the illegal cell phone inside a jail came from the famous drone delivery, as 2 weeks ago, it was reported this evidence in the courtroom. Garlington and Quantavius did unlawfully commit the felony offense of conspiracy to possess telecommunication devices by an inmate. While speaking over a cell phone to an incarcerated county jail inmate, they discussed a plan to fly a drone carrying a cell phone beyond the guard lines to a window at the Fulton County Jail. Now, it's no secret that Young Thug was being jailed at Fulton County for a short period of time, and while law enforcement is still trying to figure out if the drone delivery was meant for Young Thug, different inmates ended up retrieving the cell phone, and law enforcement, they actually watched the drone fly in. Rather than stopping the drone and confiscating the cell phone, they allowed the cell phone to be used by inmates. Now, with super creative police work, law enforcement just tapped the phones and they were able to gain information on the YSL case, which is another reason he will never be released on bond. After an announcement from the YSL label, they announced that Gunna was also once again denied bond. Gunna, being one of the 28 members of YSL arrested with Young Thug, reacted to this in the courtroom as well. He went on to say, 2022 has been one of the best years of my life. Despite this difficult situation, this year, I had the whole world pushing P. I used my art form, my gift from God, to change my circumstance. I worked, I perfected my craft. I worked, I empowered women in my industry. I worked, I lived in the recording studio. I worked, I lived on the road. I worked, and I worked every single day to show God how grateful I am for my gift and for my art and for my life, and to be able to provide for my loved ones. For now, I don't have my freedom, but I am innocent. I am being falsely accused and will never stop fighting to clear my name. Now, once both rappers were ended up being denied bond in the courtroom, this is where we began to see rappers then react to Young Thug and Gunna being denied bond once again. Starting off with Tekashi 6ix9ine, he was just doing regular 6ix9ine things, as 6ix9ine posted several photos to his Instagram story, saying things such as, "Now bro can be himself, put the Kool-Aid on them lips," to "I wish it was fake, the jail about to go crazy for bro," as well as saying, "Okay, I'm done. Nah, free sis. I mean bro." Now, this kind of thing is to be expected from Tekashi 6ix9ine. This is where we saw Metro Boomin then jump in saying, "YSL is not a team and has never been a team. YSL is a registered LLC and has provided countless jobs and opportunities for underprivileged people, and really just all people, because that's how big Young Thug's heart is." He then adds to it by stating, "Using song lyrics to indict a man is lame. Those same lyrics have made billions for these corporations actions over the past decade. I'm waiting now to see who's gonna step up and use those same resources now that the coin is turned. Or are y'all just gonna turn the other way and leave guys just how Interscope did in 1995? Now, Metro Boomin's reaction is directed towards the prosecution, as he does strongly believe that Young Thug should receive at least bond in this case to return working on his music and taking care of his family. If you think Young Thug will beat this case and want him to, leave a like on the video. I'm out. Peace.